Hi, my name is Harley Green, and today I'll be showing you how I would teach creating a picture graph and or a bar graph, um, as, as well as a bar graph using data about my students' favorite apples, bananas, no, yeah, apples, bananas, and oranges. So first I would talk about what kind of data we have, and I would have my students pick if their favorites are an apple, a banana, or an orange, and we would talk about how those are different categories and we are sorting categorical data. Next, I would hand my students a bunch of fruits, like such as the apples and oranges and bananas, and I would have them group them in things such as like the same fruits. Next, we would go over how to create a picture graph. So we would draw the picture graph with the line at the top. We would label each column and then draw lines down. And then I would then have explained to my students that we asked everyone what if their favorite was an apple, a orange, or a banana, and each student obviously had their own preference or their own answer, and then we've already drawn the picture graph, and then for an example, if I said that my favorite was an apple, that means that I am one apple, would be an example. So after I had my students kind of go through and pick their favorites, we would then talk about how to put them on the chart. So we would put all of our apples in our apple column, our oranges in our orange column, and our bananas in our banana column. And then we would obviously count them, and there's 4 apples, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oranges, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bananas. And then after that, we would talk about how a bar graph and a picture graph can relate, and in the fact that sometimes a bar graph is a step up from a picture graph and it's kind of like the next advanced level. So then we would go in to talk about how to make a bar graph. So then we would talk about how we would use our ruler and all of these things. I could have my students have their own blank sheet of paper and they could draw them while we do them as a class. So we would grab a ruler and we would draw a line down and a line across, and then every number going up would have a line. And I only did the 6 because 6 was our biggest number on our picture graph, and I just thought that that would keep it easy for younger students. So then we would talk about how, all right, so apples, there were 4 apples. So we go up and we find the number 4, and then that's where the top of our bar goes. So then we draw that all the way back down and we make a bar and we color it in. And then we would do the same for the oranges. So oranges, we had 5 oranges. So we go all the way up to 5, draw a bar and color it in. And we would do lastly the same for bananas, where we had 6 bananas. So you go all the way up, you find the number 6, all the way over into our bananas column, and you would make a bar and color it in to the matching numbers. And I would explain while I'm drawing, like, 4 students picked apples, so the bar is going to go up to 4. Or 5 students picked oranges, so the bar is going to go up to 5. And each bar should match, and how I would obviously go over how each bar should match the number of pictures in the picture graph. And then at the very end of my lesson, I would just mention things kind of like both graphs help us to interpret the data, but bar graphs are a little bit more precise. And then I would talk about how like the picture graph uses symbols to represent the quantities, whereas the bar graph uses more of like a numbers approach.